Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So I think it is safe to say this, okay? Even though she's only in the Pioneer server, Valera right here, she's a really OP unit. And she might be a really good one for this season. Because this unit is really versatile across different game modes and also decently powerful based on her initial showings. So before we start showcasing the performance of the units, let's talk about what Valera can do. Okay, this unit is able to summon 4 magical circles, which will slowly awaken, and if she casts the ultimate, she's able to insta-charge it to allow it to expand, and once you have all 4 of the circles activated, you will be able to steal the stats from your opponent. This includes the basic stats of your boss, as you guys can see right here. A hero's basic stats includes max HP, attack, physical defense, and magical defense. So right here, this transferred stats will be transferred to your own team, which means that she's a stats buffer. She's able to steal the stats from the bosses as well. And at the same time, she's able to reduce the haste of the enemies while restoring the health when the magical circle is awakened. So later on, we'll showcase what the circle can do. Really good stuff. And she also has this Sin-bound shackles right here, which results in further haste reduction as well as physical and magical defense reduction. So this is actually really good against the bosses because this works against the Dream Realm bosses as well. Okay, and then third skill, Merciful Harvest. So this one increases the energy gain for each debuff for the magical circle. But what I realized about Valera is if you actually spam her ultimate, she'll be able to get all the 4 circles activated for the maximum potential for the basic stat steal, as well as the accelerated benefit from the Graceful Edict right here. So the third skill accelerates that circle growth because it gives you more energy based on each debuff you have applied onto the enemy, but you need not necessarily build a whole team of debuffers because Valera herself is a debuffer. Usually in the Dream Realm side, you have another debuffer like the likes of Kruger or even the likes of Rainer in the team itself, right? Even Sinbad is considered a debuffer. So there's a lot of generic Dream Realm characters that are debuffers by nature, which synergizes with Valera pretty well here. So that's why this addition here is a good accelerator for you to get the enhanced benefit of circle right here. And last but not least, this Graceful Edict allows even more abilities from the magical circle, either in the form of damage onto the boss or healing onto your ally. So this will give you the additional damage output or even the utility that you need in case your team needs some heal. So that's flexibility in her kit. So she's really good right now because if you take a look at Dream Realm side so far, for today's boss, just now I recorded the Baron run, but now I come back to the Valera run and I thought, hey, this build is, how good can this build be? So I did a own benchmark to my own account right here. So this is one with the previous build before Valera on this boss over here. This is with Sinbad. So this over here, exact same stats, exact same equipment. This is the one with Valera in a place of Sinbad. So why is it such a big difference? Like, why is there a gap in terms of the damage difference? Because Valera right here is able to build up her circle over time in the Dream Realm side, which I'll say for the Dream Realm side, you will be able to cast your ultimate as long as there's no silence, right? So no matter what, she will be able to fulfill the maximum circle requirement. So this is the actual battle with Valera. If she's standing on one circle, she will be able to activate one. If she's not standing on one, then the furthest away will be activated. So technically, you only need to trigger her ultimate 3 times to maximize the circle's debuff ability as well as the basic stat steal. So this steal ability also works on the boss, which is very beneficial for this boss fight. And not just this boss fight, I think most of the Dream Realm bosses, they are okay, right, in terms of the stat steal side. Obviously, I think Necro Dragon, being an E-mobile character, Valera might not be the best there, but right now we haven't tested it yet. So there could be a possibility that this basic stat steal is so good that Valera could be used in Necro Dragon despite being a relatively immobile character. So right here, 4 casts of the ultimate is usually 20-30 seconds into the battle, and then after that you get this really like enhanced ability of the magic circle, as the magic circle combines together to give this very big circle to give you that basic stat steal, that damage onto the boss, or even the heal onto your team depending on the situation with the EX weapon. So this is basically how she functions. Very good debuffer. At the same time, she's also debuffing with her second skill, and she's a unit which does not necessarily need to build around a full team of debuffers, as I showcase, because she can fill the circle up immediately with each ultimate cast. So you just need to accelerate towards that ultimate cast with haste buffing units for her to maximize her debuff potential. So really good stuff right here. So we're gonna end the battle and then just run through the numbers. So for this boss fight, in terms of Nocturne Judicator, I think the stat steals as well as the debuff actually allows you to do more damage based off the mechanics of the boss. But this is technically the best team, right, before Valera's inclusion. So what this means is Valera's better on top of the best team for Nocturne Judicator right here. And then if you were to take a look at the other bosses that we're able to test, Sigmund right here, I think nobody tested her, or maybe somebody tested but didn't showcase here. I didn't have the time to do it. Let me check my Sigmund run to see whether or not I tested on this account. Yeah, so I think Sigmund was on the very first day of release, so she wasn't there, so we weren't able to test it. That's why no battle records right here. But with regards to, for example, Necro Dragon, so I think somebody tested. Maybe she's not so good. Oh yeah, this guy tested over here. So this is Valera with regards to her performance. So I think she does amp up the damage of other units, although I think for Necro Dragon, not exactly the best unit, because like she's relatively immobile, which is not good against Necro Dragon's mechanics. So that's for the performance of Necro Dragon. Plague Creeper, no shed formation because she's not up yet. Talessa not up yet. Crystal Beetle right here, she's in the top damage team. So this is the replay that I showcased earlier. So what she does for the team is she's able to buff up the abilities of your carries while increasing the damage that the opponents take. So this is like a double buff in a sense, because you are making your opponent take more damage while increasing the damage output of your allies. So that's why I think for the Dream Realm side, she's gonna be really meta. And I guess as the time goes by, more and more people will realize how to use her properly, how to maximize the magic circle ability, and she'll probably start to pop up in the Dream Realm meta. So that's for Valera's case. So in case you guys cannot trust all this initial Pioneer server testing impressions, then you can wait a little bit to see whether or not she pops up in your Dream Realm ladder rankings, or if the top players who actually pull for her gets like some optimal score with this unit. So that's with regards to Valera right here. Now next, for the PvP side, we're not going to talk about Supreme Arena because right now it's locked up and there's some level difference as well as seasonal equipment differences. So we tested more on the arena side after the Baron recording earlier. So these are my findings. Really impressive stuff. Okay, so first of all, she synergizes with some existing combos really well, which is the Iron Armors combo, where you can actually use Iron Armors to pull the enemies towards the enhanced magical circle. So let's run through this replay. So this opponent doesn't have any silence right here, so we are able to use Iron Armors to pull all the enemies towards the magical circle right here, as you guys can see. And then this magical circle will instantaneously debuff the stats of the opponent, the haste stats for example. And then we have Valera here with even more debuffs, such that the other allies can do more damage. And then eventually Shamira gets off the ultimate and then we win the fight, even though the opponent is running a Baron comp, right? So this is battle number 1. Okay, now we go to battle number 2. Well, yeah, we did a few replays against Staff. We'll talk about that. So this is Staff over here. So this is with Atalia with Iron Armors as usual. So basically you just pull the enemy and then you just burst them down. So Valera has that ability because of that damage enhancement and also the haste down to slow the opponent's offenses. And then right here we lost to Staff and Blue. So Staff is using the Dahlia together with Baron combo, which shuts down the Iron Armors combo. So it took a while to figure out like what's the more optimal comp to actually, you know, deal with this situation. And then I realized, hey, the Immortal comp is really good. So one mechanic that I think is super sick with the Magical Circle is that if Valera falls in battle, the activated Magical Circle will stay there. So unlike Gerda, where the hot spring stopped functioning, the magical circle will still be active. So let's say if you did get your magical circles activated before Valera falls, whatever ability that the magical circle has to offer will stick around. So this is as seen in this battle. Okay, right now it seems like we are losing the battle really badly, but we have activated 2 magical circles on the enemy side, so we have the debuff on them. And then we still have Igor as well as Atalia just doing damage, being really annoying with the damage over time from Bonnie as well as Satrana. So this is where that additional debuff from the boss, the additional debuffs from the circles itself actually slowed down the offenses of the opponent and allowed our damage to actually build up. So right here, another battle against stuff. So this is to showcase consistency. Okay. So Valera right here starts off right here, and if you take a look at the opponent, they're all within the circle and they all have the haste debuff right here. So you have the haste debuff, and you can pair her with the likes of Satrana as well, because Satrana has a vitality down, which is technically a debuff which enhances the build up of the magical circle energy. So this is another PvP mini tips and tricks with Valera. So I think there's a lot of different combos that you can sort of combo her with. Bonnie's debuff is technically a debuff that can activate the additional energy gain for the circle as well. So in this case, our Valera fell before she get off the first ultimate. So there's only one circle active, but our Igor chose to fight around this circle with all this tombstone right here, and then eventually with Atalia as well as Igor just buying time for us, all these different debuffs and damage over time sets in, and then we just win the fight from here. So pretty interesting stuff. I think she's actually really versatile, because what she wants to do is so good if she's able to pull it off, and even if she doesn't pull off what she wants to do, she will still be able to let the debuff stay on the battlefield as long as you activated one or two to sort of give you that maximum area coverage for the debuffs itself. So that's with regards to Valera. So far on the Dream Realm side as well as the PvP side, pretty good stuff. On the AFK stage pushing side, it is hard to gauge because we are still in the earlier stages of phase 2. So I've seen some usage with her with obviously the Iron Almonds combo, and I also seen her with some Shimera combos running around, specifically with some debuffs from, for example, Bonnie, as well as certain Carolina combos for the additional magical defense debuff. So there's quite a few interesting combos that can come out of her, but for what she does, I think she has a lot of flexibility as well as a lot of depth in terms of team building, because you need to play around the magical circles ability of hers. So that's it for this Valera first impression or PSA before you commit to her. Personally, I think between her and Baron, she's slightly better, but I could be wrong. Stay tuned for more updates on this unit once she's released on the global server, where more players are able to actively test the abilities of this unit. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!